and welcome back to a brand new episode of TGIF, Wilson County Public Library's one and only weekly book talk where we look at the best in YA literature. I'm your host, Kate Britton. I'm the teen librarian here at the Wilson County Public Library, and I have missed you guys so much. We've been on like a 2-week hiatus, and I'm really happy to be back, to be talking to you guys, and really excited because tomorrow, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, is Halloween. Now, Halloween's going to look a little bit different this year as, COVID is still going around pretty rapidly right now. It's kind of raging across the state and the country. So I just urge, first off, you guys stay safe over Halloween. Like, first off, that's the most important thing, for you to stay safe over Halloween. But I figured since Halloween's coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about a book that has a fun, spooky theme to it. And this week, our book is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Now, I know a lot of you have probably read this. It was published in 2008, so it's been about 12 years since it's been out. It is the Carnegie Medal winner in England and the Newbery Medal winner here in the U.S. It also won the Hugo Award for Best Novel and a slew of other awards. It's one of Neil Gaiman's best and most loved and most read books. He is a wonderful author. If you have not read any of his other books, definitely check those out. It's kind of a fun way that this book came about. He said that he got the idea for the book in 1985, and he was watching his 2-year-old son Miles ride his tricycle around a graveyard, and was thinking about how comfortable his son looked when he was there, and kind of started thinking about this idea of a book that's kind of like the Jungle Book, but set it in a graveyard. And so that's kind of what this is. It's basically very similar to the Jungle Book in a lot of ways, but it's set in a graveyard. So the story, a man named Jack murders a family, except for the toddler that lives in the house. And the toddler gets out of his crib and crawls out of the house and uphill to a graveyard, and is found by some ghosts, Mr. and Mrs. Owens, who become his caretakers and decide to raise him. And so they name him Nobody, or Bod for short, but Nobody Owens. And he grows up in this graveyard, raised by ghosts, raised by the Owens and also the other ghosts who live in the graveyard. So he kind of grows up and starts to make friends, and there are these adventures that he has. There's this dark creature called the Sleer, who has kind of been living amongst the this kind of nether world, and he has adventures with that, and ultimately he has a reckoning where he faces Jack, the man who killed his family. I won't tell you what happens, but as long as he is in the graveyard, he's safe. But when he wanders out of the graveyard, he is kind of in danger from this man who killed his whole family. So it's a fun, interesting story. For me, I loved Jungle Book growing up, and so this is very, very similar in that feel, where in Jungle Book, Mowgli grows up raised by the animals in the jungle, and this Bod is raised by the ghosts in the graveyard, and they kind of give him some powers that he can go through solid objects and things like that. But as he's growing up, stuff happens, and he starts maybe to lose some of his powers and his abilities that he has while he's in the graveyard. This is, like I said, one of the most loved books that Neil Gaiman has written. And I know, like I said, I know a lot of you have read this. So I'm interested to see what you thought of it, first and foremost. I also Want to know what you guys think about the possibility of Ron Howard directing a film version of it for Disney. So they've said it would be Disney or Pixar or Disney Pixar. So we'll see what happens. And there's also a really cool graphic novel adaptation of this that has been made, if that is something that kind of floats your boat a little bit more than just a straight up novel. But so yeah, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. It's a wonderful book. It is touching and smart and funny at times and heart-wrenching at times, as you can imagine something like this would be. So that is my pick for Halloween, which is tomorrow. So I just want to reiterate one more time before we go, if you are still watching this. Stay safe tomorrow, please. If you are around anyone, like inside, please put on your mask. And it's Halloween, so that's like a cool thing to do on Halloween, is to wear a mask anyway. So, might as well keep yourself safe in the meantime. And just be responsible, make good choices. And I can't wait to see you next week right here on TGIF. Come check out The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, literally and figuratively, because you can do that here at the library. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.